Peace to the YouTube fam. Peace to the Bulldogs universe. Peace to my Cam Glamarati. What's good with y'all? Y'all know who it is. It's the Keeper of the Flame, Ray Imperial, back with another page from the Imperial Diaries. Uh, this story has a couple of moving parts to it, but it's all a single thread. So we're gonna start dating back a couple of weeks ago. Posted a video of Bull, uh, and he was on the spring pole with his leg wrapped, and Michael Banks commented, looking for clarity. And then he hit the video, the point of the video right on the head. He said you have to be conscious of the fact that the dogs are so tough, a trainer has to have an eye for a slight change of functional athleticism. Shout out to Michael Banks, who says, but he is a beauty and a beast. Salute. Appreciate that, bro. But yeah, that is the whole point. Working these dogs, these larger dogs, with this high drive, this Camelot red nosed pit bull is definitely a dog that you have to watch, right? When you are working this dog, man, this dog has very high drive. This dog goes hard with every step, right? Like it is very difficult to get them to dial it down a notch, get them to dial it back a notch. So, um, a dog could be, um, if you've ever heard of, you know, a boxer breaking his hand during a fight and still finishing a fight, or even when Ali got his jaw broke, you know what I mean? And still finished the fight. You ain't in, but at the end of the day, the point being, it's not uncommon quarterbacks finishing games, with a rib broke. Um, so these dogs have that in them. You know, that is a trait that I would say if you don't have that in your Camelot dog, your Camelot pit bull, then you might question breeding that stock, right? Because every dog I've ever had, they go hard to the point where they will hurt themselves without regard to their personal safety. And even after they have hurt themselves, they will continue to go hard to the extent that the average person, wouldn't even notice it, right? You don't notice it until after the fact, the next day when the dog is limping, like, okay, what the fuck happened to you? All right, wait for it. I even slowed it down for y'all. Whoa. Okay. So that's the first time, right? But that was a little stumble. Not gonna really say that that was a major issue. But as I look at this, it's difficult for me to tell whether or not that really caused a problem for him, right? So he's just moving along as he normally does, nothing major. All right, fast forwarding through the rest of that particular round of the training session. He looked pretty good. I didn't see any noticeable anything that suggested to me that he couldn't go. He just seemed fine. He seemed like he was doing his thing. And I was kind of keeping one eye out for it, so I wasn't going crazy with it. So I kept the session short to the next couple of minutes. Uh, as you can see, we working on a slope here, so I wasn't trying to go too crazy, but they go hard. So I readjust my camera, and then even as I'm readjusting my camera, boom! Look at that, man. You know, and then he just hops up and he starts chasing again. Now, I'm automatically kind of like in the back of my mind, do I stop this? Do I keep it going? That kind of worried me a little bit, you know. But when you look at him, he is so driven, he's so on point. I'm thinking if there was something wrong, you know, he would show it some kind of way, right? It would demonstrate some kind of way. And as far as I'm concerned, man, the only thing that I could honestly see, man, was that maybe he was having a little bit of trouble turning left. But all of that could have been my imagination, man. So me being me, I let him go for another hot minute or so. And at some point, I just felt like, man, maybe it's just wiser to bring this to a close. So I stopped it. Now, Carla Blue, having seen the video where his leg was wrapped, said, hey, he should go to the vet. And as responsible owners, basically, this is what you're supposed to do. And to that Carla Blue, I would say that I'm pretty well versed in when it's time to take my dog to the vet. And coming up here, I'm gonna actually show you guys a clip of me taking Bull to the vet as a result of that. Today we're at the local vet, man, to take a look at Bull's paw. I'll post a video where he actually turned it, you know what I mean? And he kept right on with the session like, nothing had happened. But when I was looking at it later, I realized he must have done some damage, and that's where this limp is coming from. You're here to take a look at that paw. It never did come back like it's supposed to. You know what I mean? For whatever reasons, it's a thing where there's times when he can move on it like he's normal, and then other times, man, where it look like he about to crumble over. And obviously, if the thing is still hurting after we've wrapped it and gave him the layoff, and at this point the shit should be getting better. He shouldn't still be kind of going through what he's going through. You know what I mean? So, even coming to the vet, it's like I know it's a business, and all too often that is readily apparent when you bring your dog in here. So far so good. I mean, he's still limping and all that, but we're waiting to see the doctor now. They took his temperature, 101.5, came in at 76 pounds and some change. So he's a couple of pounds heavier than I'm used to, or than I like him at. But of course he hasn't been working lately because his ankle's been messed up, right? So naturally he's gonna put on a little bit of weight. Temperature hit 32. Just a side note, the vet is a very high stress place for a dog. Any animal really, particularly if they're sensitive to what's going on with other animals. Literally, this place started accepting walk-ins at 2 p.m. It's 6 p.m. It's after 6 p.m. now. And, it's almost 6 p.m., I'll say. And then, in the time that I've been here, man, one guy put his St. Bernard down, and another couple literally had their dog carried out with a blanket over it. So I don't know whether the dog is alive and they're gonna bury it, or whether they put the dog down, whether the dog is alive and they're gonna nurse it at home, or whether the dog had to be put down, and so they're gonna take it home and bury it. But that's how their dog came out of here. And it occurs to me, man, that I don't know how I would react if I lost my dog, Steve. Like I hate to think of a day when I'd be walking in this place with one of my dogs for the final time.
Hello.
So we go. This is the morning after my vet visit. Now I'd taken Bull out for less than 10 minutes. I did let him get up on the spring pole, and I could see where he may have like scraped his paw against the bark of the tree, right? All of that notwithstanding, it wasn't enough to really like if the paw was intact before that, this wouldn't have happened, right? So what I'm looking at here is previous damage that has been reopened, re-aggravated, and the very fact that there was previous damage there, I'm a bit bothered by the fact that the vet didn't bring this to my attention because the vet's diagnosis was Lyme disease. The vet's diagnosis was that he had Lyme disease, that there were no structural problems, that they did a brief, kind of exam of his left arm, left leg there or his left forearm there and didn't find anything, couldn't see anything. And so their diagnosis was Lyme disease. Said they gave him a blood test, came back positive for Lyme disease, and apparently Lyme disease is something that can cause inflammation and swelling in the dog's joints. It's something that dogs get from ticks. So apparently, tick got in there, gave him Lyme disease, and I got a bill for $230.38, including antibiotics and other shit. But, you know, I'm really bothered by the fact that, there was previous damage to this paw, and the vet didn't even say anything to me about that. There was something else that the vet mentioned. Uh, she pointed to his left rear hind leg, like his left leg, and she didn't come back out and say anything else about that, right? So initially, she seemed to point to the left leg, and then, when they took him in for the examination or whatever, brought him back out, they came back with Lyme disease. No more talk about the left rear leg. So I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned. As you guys can see, this is the bill that the vet gave me. Um, yeah, Galliprant, 60 milligrams, once daily for pain and inflammation. And then the, what was that, antibiotic. But you can see diagnosis says Lyme disease, right? Doxycycline, right? Doxycycline tablets. Give 3.5 of those once a day for 30 days. 100 milligram doxycycline tablets. So, I mean, these are some of my concerns, Carla Blue, about vet visits, about, you know, um, whether or not I'm getting an honest diagnosis because I've been treating the paw with liniment and ointments and things like that, keeping him off of it. We're not working him at all. But at the same time, eh, I find this questionable. I find this questionable. Um, there's a reason why they didn't catch that, and I feel like it was something that they weren't really looking for, right? So not only will I be $230 and some change out of pocket, but I'm going to spend an additional amount to take him to another vet and to get a real examination of his structure done. He is 7 years old now. And it just makes sense to do that, especially since he's such a rough and tumble type of dog. Um, as you can see the whole time that I am handling this wound, this uh, little callus or whatever you want to call it here, and he's not reacting at all. No reaction from this dog at all. He could care less. You might as well be petting him, right? And so that's kind of what you get with your Camelot, man. So again, when you're working your dogs, y'all, be extremely careful, man, and check those paws after every workout, man, because sometimes they be doing stuff, man, and we don't even have a clue. But that's my time. Thank y'all for stopping by. It's been a joy. My name is Ray Imperial,